I've got to sit here now and talk for 60 minutes. The time is now 14:28, so I've got until 15:28. In fact, I'll get Alexa to set an alarm. Alexa, set an alarm in 1 hour.
Good afternoon, John. 1 hour alarm set for 3:28 p.m.
As you know, my name is John because Alexa just told you that. So what can I talk about? I work in business for myself. I do a lot of traveling. Yeah, I'll talk about that. I used to be a holder rep. I went to work abroad in 1992. It was by fluke. I was working at a newspaper in the north of England for a few years. And I lived with a girl who was basically no good. So she would get off with somebody else who was equally no good. And my parents died when I was young. Lots of things had happened in my life, and I got to a point where I thought, well, I'm here now where I can go do what I want. I was single, almost homeless. I was in my car, working for the newspaper that I used to work for. And I just thought, I'm done with this. I'm done with it. Why don't you just do what you've always wanted to do, go be a holder rep? So I thought, well, yeah, I'll have a go. Do a lot of thinking to myself. So next thing I knew, I contacted a friend of mine who's sadly departed now, called her Maureen, and she worked for a company called Manos Holidays. Manos Holidays were a leading holiday company for Greece, and they also did Turkey, I believe, but they definitely did India. They got into India many, many years ago, and they took over it. They literally took over it. There were more people going to India with Manos Holidays than any other company. And it was weird because they were a very small company in Greece. Although, having said that, they're one of the biggest as well, but they weren't as big as what they were in India. And in India, they were the biggest, without a doubt. They were absolutely massive. And people wanted to work for them because they wanted to get winter work in India. No chance. No chance. Everybody wanted it. But anyway, I applied and I ended up having to go to London, Old Street in London. I didn't think about how to get there. I just thought I'll just drive because I used to drive everywhere then. So I drove down in a little mini metro, parked on the street in London, Old Street. Never thought about parking. I didn't realise that parking was so difficult in London. I just thought you could rock up like you could in my hometown. Rock up and just park your car and go to your meeting and get back in your car. I didn't know that you had to pay for it. Well, free. But this was 1992. So it is a long while ago, 30 years ago. 2002, yeah. Anyway, I went to an interview, and I've never had an interview like it. I didn't prepare for it, didn't do anything. All I knew is that everybody used to say to me, "You would be a great holder rep." So I thought, well, I'll do the meeting. So I went to it and got in there, and Maureen had told me that I could stop at the house where all the managers were living because she was a manager there, which were a good thing because I got to meet all the managers and we had a night out and all that kind of thing. But I thought that was a dead cert for me to get the job. Wasn't, not at all. There was no bias there at all. Even the fact that I knew Maureen, although she was one of the ones that used to say, "You need to be a holder rep." And when a manager of a holiday company says you need to be a holder rep, you think you're going to get the job. Anyway, so off we went. We had a long interview, and there were debating there about abortion. Another one about something else, something topical at the time. I think it was something to do with smoking. Can't remember now. Anyway, I were on the for team, other people on the against team, and I had to talk people around, and I did. Talked to them all round, whoever were against it. By the end of the debate, they were for it, which is not really how a debate's supposed to be. You're supposed to get your point across and get the audience for it, not make the person that's actually against it to become for it. They're supposed to stand the ground, and I think that's why I won the debate, because they didn't understand what a debate was, and I put up a better argument. At the time, I was 30, 92, 30. 63, 93, 30-year-old, about 30-year-old, 29. Don't matter. Does if you want to get an hour in this video. So I did the interview, got through that bit, got through every little bit of it. Then went through a bit of role play. I had to get up and dance like a chicken, whatever I can, long time. And that was it. That was that. And they closed the meeting, off I went, and I had to meet him at this house that they were staying in. So I got in my car, I had a ticket on my car, and I thought, bloody hell. So I contested the ticket, told them that I'd left my jacket, and you were allowed an hour free, 2 hours free. And I'd had my 2 hours, and then I did another 5 minutes. So we're only really 5 minutes over. Now in London, you won't get away with 2 hours. You don't even get 2 minutes free. I know, because we're down there the other week. So anyway, I got this ticket, and I thought, bloody hell. Just go off the story for a little bit. When I got home, I put a complaint in saying, look, I got a ticket. I need to contest it. What I'd done is I'd been in an interview on Old Street, which was about 2 minutes walk from the car. I came out of the interview and I'd left my keys on the desk that I'd been interviewed in. So I had to go back and get my keys. Got my keys, came back, opened the car, realised that I was 4 minutes late. No, I wasn't late when I got back to the car, but I was late when I got back to the car second time after I picked my keys up. And I thought, well, that won't work. But it was true. And the next thing I got a letter that said, without prejudice, this parking ticket has been cancelled. I thought, well, that's a result. No, all I want to do is get the job. So I got back to the house, and we're all having a drink and a bit of fun and all that lot. Quite uneventful, but everybody in bed for 10 o'clock. Next morning, got up and got in my car and drove back. Oh, sorry. Drove back up north. No more was said about it. Anyhow, I'm there, and I got back to newspaper that I worked for. I'd not told anybody what I'd done, but the Manus Holidays, the logo for not the logo, what's the slogan for the company was small enough to care, big enough to make it happen. Big enough to care, yeah. Small enough to care, big enough to make it happen. So there I am. I'm at my desk, and I was thinking about my interview yesterday. I've pulled a sick day. I'm sat there, and somebody came up to me, and I actually worked with Scary Spice, Mel B. And we shared a desk. She was in the desk across from me, and she said, "Hey, John, you need to do this quiz that we're doing." And I was thinking about Greece. I wasn't thinking about newspaper. And she says, "John, are you listening?" She has a very abrupt way about her as Mel. It wasn't Johnny listening. Johnny had been listening to me. Are you ignoring me? And I went, no, sorry, Mel. What's up? We've got to come up with a slogan. Everybody's got to come up with a slogan. It's one of these spot quizzes that they do. And there's going to be a decision in 20 minutes on who wins it. And the winner gets £1,000. And I went, but that's what we've got to do. She said, you've just got to come up with a logo. I know you'll win it, because you always do. And that's sort of slogan. And I said, slogan for what? She put newspaper. I went, all right. So she put a piece of paper in front of me, and I put small enough to care, big enough to make it happen. And that was it. Sent it back. And And that was that done. 2 hours later, somebody comes up with a cake and £1,000. You've won the quiz again, you jammy little fuck. And I went, I didn't even what a quiz. They said the slogan. What's that? And Mel B says, it's the one that you did earlier, and I give you that bit of paper, you donkey. I said, all right, yeah, I've won. Yeah, all right. Great. I used somebody else's slogan for a newspaper, and I thought, well, yeah, if they'll accept that, that's fair enough. So £1,000 on a cake. Cake. Do look like I eat cake. Anyway, I had a cake and biscuit man myself. So, in fact, I like pork pies. I eat them all. I eat all the pies. So I'm sat there and I thought, right, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do about this job? And I couldn't stop thinking about this job. And I was going through a bad time in my life. I ended up having to share a house with a friend of mine. And I was living in this house, and there were no mobile phones, nothing like that then. And I thought, all right, what shall I do? I'll ring them up. So, because I've not heard out, been like 3 or 4 days. So I rang, and they said you lay something in 48 hours. So I rang up, and I spoke to this woman, Maria she was called. The boss was called Demetris, who was a woman, and Maria was, well, I suppose now she wouldn't be called a woman, she'd be called a man. Or, yeah, trans thing. Not sure. So I rang up, she answered the phone. Turned out that I actually thought that the other girl was the manager, and she was the manager, but this person that answered phone was the big boss, but she downplayed her role that she wasn't a big boss, but she actually was the big boss. So she answered phone. I said, hello. I said, I came for an interview the other day. I think we met one, I met my friend of Maureen's and all this lot. And she says, oh, yeah, I remember you, John. Yeah, yeah. All right. I said, just wondered if I got anywhere with it. And she says, sorry, but you've not been shortlisted. I said, is there a reason why? No, we don't have reasons. We choose who we choose, and that's it. You know. I said, right, okay. So fair enough. Can't use my services. You can't use my services. I said, but I'd be a good rep. And she goes, how do you know? I said, everybody tells me. Everybody I've ever met has always said you'd be a good rep. And she went, okay, thanks for your call. Let's put phone down. Literally, a minute later, phone rings. Hello? I said, hello. She says, John, it's Mary. Her name wasn't Mary. It was something else. I've just remembered it, but it wasn't Mary. But now it's called a trans. It's not a good idea for me to say her name. Mary, quite contrary. She says, things change fast around here. And I've decided that we're going to recruit you. I like what you said on the phone, and I think that you will be a good rep. So I do apologise. Job's yours. Training course starts next week. Can you make it next week to Skegness? I went, yeah. She said, yeah, will it be okay giving you notice and all that? Oh, it's a weekly contract, you know. Look at what they're going to do, sack me. We're going to Greece next week. So anyway, I thought I'll take a week's holiday and do it that way. So I went back to work, and I said to my boss, can't give her name away because she know exactly who she was because her name is very distinctive. Lovely woman, dead funny. She's a good person. So I ended up going to her office, and I said, hey, I said, I've got another job. I says, and I've accepted it. And she says, oh, I'm a little bit surprised at that. I said, I understand you're surprised, and I didn't give a lot of notice, but I've got to go on a training course next week, and I've got a week's holiday, so is it okay for me to go on a training course? She goes, training course for what? It's my new job. So what is it? I said, I'm going to be a holder rep in Greece. And she says, John, I won't stop you. I'd never stop you. She said, you're one of the best salesmen we've got, but you would make a great older rep. I said, funny that, because everybody tells me that. She said, well, maybe only you that don't know it. Anyway, so that was it. And I thought, well, I'll go then. Spoke to a guy who was next to me. There were Mel and there were a guy called Robert. Lovely guy. He's passed away now as well. Remember, this was 30 years ago, so people do pass. So I said to Robert, I says, where do your parents live? He says, Skegness. So I've just been offered a job and I'm going on a training course in Skegness. When is it? I said, Saturday. Well, I'm going to see my parents on Saturday. Do you want me to drop you off? And he goes, I go every Saturday. I can pick you up next Saturday if you want, bring you back. Yeah. I mean, I had a company car and everything, but I'd rather get a lift than drive. I said, yeah, if you don't mind, yeah, I'll have a trip. I'll have a lift. So he took me over there, and I found it really, really easy because all we had to do was go there, and it was a series of classrooms. You had to learn how to do different things. Like one of them was that a rep is attractive to women. Women love reps. Part of the goal is a shagger rep. And they told us, no matter what you look like, if you're a holder rep, you're going to get laid every day, 10 times a day, as many times you want. And I'm like, whoa, this sounds like a great job. There's a bit of that in the story, but anyway, so I went to a training course, did what I had to do, and first night we did this thing, and then we could go into Butlins. So we went into Butlins, into entertainment place, and there were over 1,000 of us, and it were like 3 keys in the middle of the floor. Everybody were all over everybody, and I thought, well, fuck it, I'm doing it. So I treated it like an holiday. Didn't realise they were watching us. Everybody were watching us, all the managers. But I am quite discreet, so I kept it on the down low, if you like. Shared a room with a guy called Glyn, who was a seasoned rep. He'd done it for years. And nice bloke. Only met him there once. Only met him there. Stuck in my mind because he was a good guy. You could tell he was a nice person. You know, there were no pretentious about him or like that. So, and I wasn't built like this at the time. I was quite slim. I was a young man. So next thing, we did his course. We did everything. They were all stodgy food. Food was included. Stodgy Butlins food. You know, like pies and sponges, crap, chips, gravy, normal English food, which people complain about, but I'm English. I like it. I prefer Indian. Oh, that's another video. So next thing I'm doing this the course, and every day seemed to be all right. And I had this little problem. I remember all right. When I was writing, my hand stopped working. I'm like, I can't write. I couldn't hold pen. And it was slipping out of my hand. And I thought, oh, God, I've got to do this course and I can't finish it because I can't write. And it happened for about a full day. I ain't got a clue. To this day, I don't know what it was. And it has happened in my life a few times. But anyhow, so instead of writing it down, then I had to remember it, which probably helped because having to remember it meant you have to read it and you have to take notice of what you're doing. But it was about accommodation charts. And, you know, if 5 people come in and there's 4 blokes and 3 women on the same place, do you put them in opposite room to each other, or do you put one on that floor, one on that floor? And it's normally better to segregate them a little bit. But then you think about rowdy lads all being on the same floor, they might start fighting. So do you put them together? You know, it was like studying a rota for a job, and it was hard. You had to really think about how you're going to place people. So I used to put all women there where I used to have my visits in the morning, knowing that there'd be rooms around where I was. a rep being a rep, they all like to come and talk to rep, and the one that talks to you most is the one that wants to shag you first, and all that kind of thing. You soon worked all that out, you know. You only have to be there with a cup of coffee, and a girl will come out and say, "Hey, you all right? Oh, are you doing your job today? Then are you doing your duties? Yeah. Oh, right. What time is it?" I said, 7 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck are you doing up at this time and all? Oh, I just thought I'd come and say hello, that's all. And I'm like thinking to myself, who does that? Who gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning in Greece when all the mates are in bed? Unless you want to shag rep. And that's what it were about every single time. And there was some rooms that I could take him in and, oh, ragged them all. Stories. There's some, I mean, there could be a million stories come out. I'm living it here. I'm bringing it all out from memory from 30, nearly 40 years ago. So, but it's here. It's fresh in my mind. So I decided to just, I know I'm still on training costs. Through training costs, we had a quiz on Friday. We had to go to this, not a quiz, not a bloody quiz, but an exam. And you had to get 90% of this exam. You couldn't get any less. You get through at 75, but they expected 90, and there was all sorts of questions in it. And I didn't find it difficult. We had an hour to do it. I sat down and was going through it, and it would tick the box, that kind of thing, and a few little questions that you had to answer. Yeah, I'm ticking all boxes and doing all this and doing all that and thinking, well, can't do any more. I've done it. And I turned the page over and I thought, I'm only 20 minutes in, so I thought I'll read through it all again. And the questions are all as I see them, you know, I think they're right. So I said, excuse me, I said, oh no, the manager that were there, she says, excuse me, why are you not doing it? So I've done it. Are you sure? I said, well, yeah, I think so. So what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. So I can sit it if you want. I said, but I've read through it twice. I know that I finished it, and that's it, you know. Well, if you want to go and you can't come back and do it again, you only get one crack at it, and you've got to get 75%. Well, that's it. I've done it. I said, but I do learn quickly. So she says, and I said, most of it's common sense, and I've got loads of it, even though common sense is not common, but I have got common sense. So she says, right, okay. So I put my thing on there, and I thought there'll be a few other people that'll follow me. So I went outside. Nobody came out of that room until it finished. And I'm like, I was embarrassed. I didn't know what to do. I was really embarrassed because I thought, oh God, maybe I hadn't done it. Maybe everybody's going to think I'm a clever fucker now. And you know, nobody likes a clever dude, do they? So I thought, well, I'll hang about. And I hung about, waited a bit longer. Bear in mind, I'd done it in 20 minutes, and there were 40 more minutes to wait. So I'm waiting and waiting. You know, Glyn come out, and he says, what happened there? They kick you out. I said, no, done it. He goes, you can't have done. It's your first year rep. I says, Glyn, I've done it. I didn't know what to do. You know, I've read through it twice. If I've got questions wrong, it's because I didn't know them. But as far as I'm concerned, I answered 100 questions, and then I thought I got them to the best of my ability. But now I'm starting to doubt myself, especially now you've come out and you thought it were hard. You've been 3, 4 years. Anyway, we were getting his results at 5 o'clock, and it was now 4 o'clock, so they're going to mark them very quickly. Results got posted. I got 100%. Nobody else did. Nobody. And that don't make you a good rep. It just makes you, makes them think you paid attention, which I had. But I wanted to be a rep. I really did. You know, bear in mind, I know I lived properly at the time, so it would like get this job or get in shit. And there was a gap in my life where I thought, well, I can do it. I've no girlfriend, I've no commitments, I've no nothing. I might as well just do it, you know. So then the next day, so that was Thursday, on Friday, we all went in and we had to do meetings with the managers, and each island gateway in Greece has got a different manager. So you've got somebody who's in charge of the whole of Greece, which was Mary. really quite contrary, and Demetrius. And then you had other people under them who were island managers. Good job, very good job. Most of them were thieves because all the money went through them. And it was funny because most of them kept losing their jobs because money were going missing left, right, and centre. And it wasn't their fault. But next thing, they're out of a job, so you got a new island manager. Anyway, we had this island manager. I don't think she was my cup of tea, and I want hers. I wasn't hers at all. But she didn't have much of a choice because I'd been asking for Falaraki, and there was a guy called Steve that worked there. He'd been Falaraki rep for 10 years, a long time. That's a long time to be a rep. I was asking for Falaraki and won't give me it. And then they come on and said, right, we're pleased to tell you you've been given Malia. I didn't know what Malia was. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. I said, what's Malia? I said, it's like Falaraki, but it's in Crete. You'll like it. It's got you all over it. And I thought, well, fair enough, I'll go wherever you want me to go. So 2 weeks later, I'm on a plane, Wednesday night, on my way to Crete. Next thing, I turn up in Malia, and boss met me off the plane. All of the reps were on the plane, but it was just reps. It was a rep plane, because all reps were going over for summer season, no tourists, no nothing. That plane came back empty. It was just reps. So the next thing, we got to the resort, and it was quite late. We ended up going out, got my fish shag. Did a little bit there half an hour, and that one at other reps, which didn't make it great because she had to. She was the admin girl for the islands. She was the boss's right hand person, sort of thing. But hey ho, I'm on holiday. And that's what I thought. That was not a great thing to think because when you're a holiday rep, you're a rep and you're working. But I thought I'll do my job. My work ethic, don't know my work ethic. I work every day, all day, do my job, but I'm on holiday and I'm going to shag everybody that I see. Just about. If still they let me. So next morning we got up, we're in a place called Hesonisos, which is just north of Malia, south of Heraklion. So they got Heraklion there, Hesonisos here, and Malia there. They're quite close to each other. 70 kilometres from Heraklion, but only 3 or 4 kilometres from Malia. So I went down to marina area. It's a man-made town is Hesonisos. You've got old Hesonisos in the mountains and new Hesonisos near the sea. No beach, not a decent beach, not at all. So we're there, and she's taking us around saying, "This is what you got to do, and that's what you got to do." And I started to find it hard because knowing it and doing it are different, and we had to do everything. We had to count knives and forks. We had to make sure there's enough pillowcase. We had to measure all the balconies and make sure they're right height. And if they're not, we had to get them rebuilt just to get the owner in and explain in English that you have to make that 2'6", and at the moment it's 2'4". And they go, well, I'm building 2'6". Well, you're gonna have to put a pipe on it or something. I had to come up with solutions. So, but I kid you not, I'll tell you now, you won't have any guests coming to your hotel if you don't do that, because I'll just move them to a different hotel. So you had to control them, which is part of the job. And it's hard to control a Greek because they don't like being told what to do. I had a bit of an advantage because I was a 30-year-old man and they took me seriously. A lot of reps are 20, 21, then they don't. They don't. So I had to do all that, and then I had to go. But a bit of bullying. I didn't like this manager. They give us a pedometer, one of them things that you measure with one wheel. And I had to walk from every hotel to the beach and then back. And then from the same hotel to the shop and back. And then I had to go to the nearest cafe and back, bar, back, second bar back, nightclub back. And I had to do that on 30 different occasions to get all these sizes, these distances. But you have to bear in mind that they already had these distances from the year before, and the year before that, and the year before. These were historic properties. They knew what the score was. But she wanted to make us do this all the time. And it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. But I thought, well, I think quickly. And so I'd set off from the hotel and walk down, get to the shop, mark how far the shop was. Get to the first bar, mark how far it was from hotel. Get to the second bar, same again. Get to club, and you get the drift. And then to the beach. So I did it once, and then come back. We had to do pharmacy, everything. But they were all on one street, so it wasn't a problem. Bike hire, car hire, everything. So, but other reps were going and then going back, and then going again, walking past the shop, they'd just gone past and measured, and then going back. And she asked me how I'd done it so quick, and I said, oh, you can't do it like that. So why not? I said, I passed that shop to go to that bar. And so I marked it, and I thought, no, I'm going to stand my ground here. She wasn't having it. She wanted me to go back and do it all again. And I thought, sod this. I ain't walking up and down like that. So I got a motorbike, and I put the monarch thing at the side of the motorbike, and I went down to the shop and down back and down 30 times for each apartment. So 15 apartments times 30. It's a lot. 2 days later, I'd done it again. How do you do it? I said, I don't know if I want to tell you. I don't think I trust you. I says, you've asked me to do it. I've done it. I know you're asking me how I've done it. I told you before, and you made me do it again. Well, I need to know you've done it because it can't be done that quick. Do you want to waste time? Do you want me to take a week over it? Well, no, I want to know you've done it. Well, I got on my bike. Oh, you did it on a motorbike. Yeah, you got to do it pedometer. I said, I had that side of me. I had it on the road. So, anyhow, no, you got to do it again. Oh, for fuck's sake. How many of these things do we have? One for the island. I said, well, in the next rep, waiting to use it. Well, yeah, but she'll have to wait until you've done it. You've ruined it twice by doing it wrong. I went, all right. So I went back to the apartment and broke it in half. I said, that pedometer's broken. Really? What happened? I said, it's knackered. It's just had too much. Can you mend it? I said, no, can't mend it. I said, it won't mend it. It's broken in half. I said, I'm gutted. I said, because I was just on my way to the shop to do first measurement. Oh, I said, can you get me another one out of the store so I can do it with that one? We ain't got one. I told you I've only got one. I said, oh, I thought you meant you've only got one today. No. And in the one in Heraclion, no, we've only got one. Oh, God, what are we going to do? I said, well, I've got all measurements from before. And she went, oh, thank God for that. Right. I said, so have you used them? Yeah, they're perfectly fine. The one yesterday, weren't they? Or the day before. So then she got all the reps and she said, do it on your motorbike, just go down to every shop and tell us how much they are. And so we didn't need to do that. It was pointless. Next thing, I'm going into apartments and she said, oh, make sure there's 3 knives and forks. I said, why? There's only like 2 people staying in the apartment. Oh, in case they lose one. Well, okay. So I went in and I counted 3 knives, 3 forks, 3 spoons, 3 plates, 3 cups, 3 saucers, 1 kettle, a bucket. The story about the bucket. Towels, all towels. I had to make a list of everything. But the one list that you take, you had to write a list. Towels, soap, knife, times 3. And everything that you saw in that apartment. And then they go, what we're missing? I said, I don't know. They didn't list. I made a list, so how can I know what we're missing? I know you're going to think I'm being argumentative here. I just didn't like the woman, and she didn't like me. And I treat contempt with contempt, respect with respect. And if someone's an idiot, they're fucking idiot. And she was an idiot. So I'm like, there were no plant pots. Well, they don't need plant pots. Why not? They're on holiday. All right, okay. There are no bottles of pop. Well, they don't need any bottles of pop. Oh, so that's not something that should be on the list. No. All right, okay. No tea bags. Well, they bring their own tea bags, so that's not supposed to be on. No. What is supposed to be on this list that you want me to tell you in there? I said, if you didn't list, I don't know what's not there. And she said, well, just think of things. I said, well, there were can openers. There were a can opener. Well, that's not something we provide. I said, right, I'll take can openers out. Well, no, you can't because it belongs to the owner. One room had too many knives and forks. Oh, you can't give them on 3. All right, okay. So then I thought, well, hang on a minute. If they're going to be losing knives and forks, they're going to start asking me for knives and forks. Every time they lose a knife and fork, they're going to say, I've run out of knife and fork. So I thought, what I'll do is everywhere that's got 4, I'll take the extra 1 and keep it in my bag. So I didn't tell any reps this because they've got to think of their own shit, you know. So I put all the knives and forks in my bag and I'm walking around with a heavy bag. But if somebody didn't have a spoon later on in line, later on holiday, oh, I've only got 1 spoon. Hang on. There you go. How's that for service? Oh, that's brilliant. Have you got any forks? Yeah, I've got a fork. There's a fork. Oh, that's excellent. What else you got? I said, well, that's it. Knives, forks, spoons. And you got any cups? No, I don't have any cups in my bag. I don't have any plates. I'm not a stores, so I just happen to have some bits and bats. Anyhow, one day this bloke he booked a trip. One of the trips that we sold was to Malia Gorge, and it was 80 quid. And I used to get 20 quid commission off it. But I never tried to sell it because I did it once. It's a 35-mile walk, and you don't want to do it. And I really didn't want to do it, and I had no weight on me. So I used to say, look, there's all these trips that we do, but I'm not going to tell you about them all because some of them you're not going to want to do. And because of that, I got brownie points. Oh, which ones? I said, well, I'll give you an example. The Samaria Gorge. It's great. But you've got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you get taken to this horrible place with a cafe that doesn't sell out because it's shut. And you get there for 4:30 and then you've got to walk 35 mile. Might be less than that, but you got to walk through the gorge. You get on a boat, and then that brings you back to where you started. But it's a long day. If you like walking, fair enough, do it. But it's 70 quid a piece. So if there's 2 here, 140 quid. I get good commission on it. I said, but I don't endorse it. I've done it, it nearly killed me. I were knackered. Oh, don't fancy that. I thought, well, you know, young people, they're not old people. They're just kids that wanted to go out there and fiddle and diddle with each other. So Somalia Gorge is not only beach party, boat party, boat cruise, booze cruise, all them. I used to tell everybody to go on them because they were great. Greek night, free wine flowing all night long. Everybody woke up with a self honey and they all thought the name was John. I used to talk to girls and I go, what's your name? Margaret. Is it no, it wasn't Margaret. Janet. Hey, Janet. What's your name? John. You're brown. Yeah. I said, I live here. Oh, what do you do? I said, I'm an older rep. Oh, you're an older rep. Oh, that's a good job, isn't it? I enjoy it. Yeah, it's all right. Like, it's hard work. But, you know, you got long hours and all that, and low pay. But I like it. Yeah. And she says, loads of perks. Well, you get free drinks, you get free everything. It's all I have to pay for is cigarettes. And she says, but what about like, do you get loads of women? Oh, aye, all day long. I said, you know, I can just say, pass me another one. This one's full. Really? Yeah. And, what are you drinking? And she said, vodka. Oh, be careful with that. And she said, why? I said, vodka makes you funny, so. And they go, what you done? I said, oh, it does here. And she go, well, how will it? I said, if you keep drinking vodka and talking to me, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning. You'll think your name's John, and you'll have a sort of funny, and you'll go, oh, must have been vodka. But there were loads of them. I did it every week, every day. It was a good little job. But anyway, this is all before the season started. I hadn't even got to the season. And I ain't going to do it. So because it's like, my time's nearly up. I've been talking for the best part of an hour. So I decided to enjoy it, have it as a holiday. There was a guy called George who owned a bar, and he still does, called Big Ben. And he was a Greek guy. He thought he was a bit of a gangster. He was the same age as me, owned the bar, nice bloke, but like I say, he thought he was a gangster. He had a bit of money, he had quite a bit of money. He owned a shop that he called, it was a tourist information shop that changed money, and he called it the Foreign Office, which was a great name. Everybody thought it was the Foreign Office. And if they had a problem, they'd go to see him. And he had an English kid that worked there who used to do all managing for it. And he said, oh, sit down, I'll help you with your problem. And he'd sell them trips and sort all sorts out for them. But he would always sell our trips. Oh, sorry, I'll go back a little bit. Malia Gorge. One day, I had 2 apartments that I was staying in. And some nights I'd stay in apartment A, sometimes at apartment B, and sometimes at apartment C, but it depends on what side of town I was on when I was drunk. The time I went to bed. And then I decided which one I'm going to sleep in. So I always had in my back pocket a little alarm clock. No mobile phones then. I had a little alarm clock. And then I went to this bar one day. Sorry, one of my owners bumped into me. He goes, John, I'm glad I've seen you. You were a bit older than others. Probably 50s, to be honest. I'm glad I bumped into you. He says, I have a little problem. Oh, what's that? I'm going to Malia Gorge in the morning. I said, you haven't got an alarm clock. That's true. That's correct. And he says, I said, well, there you are. And I got an alarm clock out in my back pocket. So there you go. How's that for service? He went, that is amazing. You have knives and forks. You have everything that we need. And you've come and given me an alarm clock. And I was all fascinated. I went, hang on a minute. I don't sell Malia Gorge. I sell it, but I've never sold it to Malia Gorge. Oh, no. I booked it with the Foreign Office. Oh, did you? And he says, yeah, so why did you book it with them? But it was £2 cheaper. I said, well, ask him for a fucking alarm clock then. Put it back in my pocket. What? I like that one. So, Foreign Office, George was a good guy, and it's good to have people on your side. I was a bit older than other reps by 10 years. And so they didn't treat me like they did young reps, where they could have them like that, wind around the little finger. And this George, he thought, well, I'd broke my arm, so everybody knew that the Manos rep had a broken arm. Because beginning of the season, we didn't have uniforms, so we had to wait for him to come. One moment. Alexa, stop. Alexa, be quiet. So I decided to, sorry about your alarm.
Just set it 2 minutes.
Oh, is it my alarm? No, it's not my alarm. So I hope it's all right. He owned the bar, and he came up to one day, because I had a broken arm, he said, hello, Ray, hello, Ray. You rep? Yeah, I'm the rep. Manos rep? Yeah. Oh, resort manager? Yes. Oh, come in, Malacca. So I went into his bar. It wasn't open. We just sat there. I've been drinking raki, which is barrel, white whiskey. So they all sat there, a few of them, and there was a young kid there who was English. And he says, what's your name? I said, John. Yanni. In Greece, you call Yanni. Yasu Yanni. I went, Yasu, what's your name? Yorgos. George. Oh, hi, George. Yeah, all right. Yasu. He goes, Yasu Yanni. And he goes, my job to look after you. I went, oh, here we go. So tomorrow or Sunday. What are you doing on Sunday? My bar not open yet. What are you doing on Sunday? I said, well, no, there's no tourists here. There's just me, a few others. I'm having a party. Not a big party, just a small party. Many people come, but only important people that I want. This party I throw for you. Oh, here we go. I said, why are you having a party for me? You've only just found out my name's John. And you've changed it to Yanni. No. This party is a special party I have for you. Okay. Right. Sunday, what time? What time you wake up? Oh, come on. Tell me what time. In the morning or the afternoon? Well, what do you mean do? Just come in and sit from 8 o'clock in the morning and wait till you get in and say, right, party's starting now. No. What time? I said, you tell me, it's your party. Yeah, okay. Say 1 o'clock? Yeah, 1 o'clock. What do I have to bring? Nothing. Oh, bring nothing. Everything from me. Okay. And that was it. So anyhow, this guy, the kid who worked there, I can't remember his name, but let's say it's Ian. So this Ian kid said, make sure you're here, won't you? Because he wants you here. And I went, okay, I'll be there. 1 o'clock. I had no else to do. 1 o'clock come on Sunday and off I went down to Big Ben bar. And there's about 3 people there. George, his mate Takis, and Ian. And I'm like, oh, this ain't going to be that fun, is it? And he's got a big case of bottles of beer and they've got whiskey and they were doing coke and I'm not into that. And I'm sat there. I thought, bloody hell, this is not my cup of tea in this. So I thought, well, I'll just make one in. And I'm sat there. I said, look, what are you after? Why have you got this party for me? Oh, you're a good friend. I said, no, come on. I'm not your friend. I don't know you. I struggle to know you what your name is. I had to ask Ian what your name was. And it's George, isn't it? Yeah. He actually did become a good friend in time. No, here is it a beer? So, well, I don't have a lot of money because I've been we only just got here, all that lot, and that £1,000 that I want to go. No, don't worry. No, you don't have to pay for anything. Everything is on me. You are my boy. Or your boy. So next thing, we're getting drunk and all that lot. And he says, Ian, speak to John. Talk to John. So the thing is about when you work over there, there's 3 types of people. You've got workers, you've got tourists, workers, and reps. Tourists get what they want because they're paying for it. Workers don't have anything. They don't have any money. They don't have a good job. They get treated like shit. It's hard work. And I used to protect them. And I ended up friends with lots of them because they didn't like reps and workers don't get on. There's yin yang, like cat and dog. But I felt for them because I was a bit older, I think. And I used to say in my welcome meeting, please make sure that if somebody asks you to go into a bar, just go in it, have a drink. You know, these get paid for you going in there. Don't just dismiss them all. You don't know what bar you're going in anyway. So try them all. Just keep going in. You know, keep going in bars. And I had a guy who was actually a worker, but he was having his first week. They used to come out first week and book a holiday. And he stayed with me. And after the welcome meeting, he went around and told all workers that guy looks after us. You know, he's for the workers and all that one. So you've got tourist workers and reps. Reps get everything for free, including women. They get whatever they want. You walk in the bar and you're a rep. There's 100 workers in there, and there's one girl. That girl's with you. She'll come for you. So George says, talk to Yanni. Talk to him. So Yanni, Ian come up and he goes, can I have a word? I said, yeah. And bear in mind you were a worker. So there's a bit of something there. Anyway, he says, George has asked me to talk to you to let you know what you are. So what do you mean what I am? He goes, you're a very important person in this town. I said, me? He said, well, you're a rep. Reps are important. Reps do what they want. Reps get whatever they want. They get the women, they get the booze, they get respect. You can have anything you want. If you want to go to Ayers Nicolais in a car, what sort of car do you want to take? If you want to have a party in your apartment, who's going to cater it for you? Everybody, for free. That's it. And because you go in a bar, you don't pay for a drink. You just get the drink, walk away. Everybody knows you're a rep. Everybody's clocked you because you had a broken arm. So everybody in this town knows who that rep is, and it's you, and you're a resort manager. So the other reps will have that luxury. First choice reps, they're not even here yet. When they arrive, there'll be 20 of them. And 20 people getting free drinks is not as good for them as one. But they'll get free drinks in certain bars. You'll get them everywhere. George rents out motorbikes, everything. You want a BMW motorbike, you'll get one. And he says, and that's purely because you're a rep. But so what do I have to give back? Nothing. You just have to go in his bar. I said, I don't get it. You drinking in his bar, and people think that must be a good bar because that rep's in it. That's right. Got you. He said, you're the Pied Piper of Malia. Now, the other thing you've got that others won't have is you're older. So all the younger reps are going to look up to you. So you'll be the Pied Piper at reps. And everybody knows this. There's one every year that comes into this town who's that little bit older, a little bit wiser, got loads of common sense, and it's you this year. And that great, you know. I went in there and I enjoyed it. I had many adventures. I mean, I hadn't got as far as my second day yet. It would. I just did what I want when I wanted. I had trouble from my boss because she was not happy that she couldn't catch me doing stuff wrong. I didn't do it wrong. I could be out all night drinking my taxa brandy, dancing on bar. I go to bed at 4 o'clock. I will be up at 6:30 and in my first apartment at 7. Every single time. You weren't allowed to wear sunglasses, so I used to put drops in my eyes just to stop the red eye. But I had a car, a motorbike, a push bike, a bungalow. I lived like 007. I had women hanging off me. I remember I had I'll tell you in one of the other videos, I had a guy called Manos, who's still a good friend of mine, Manos Mixataris. And he owns a bar called Galaxy, one of the funniest men I've ever known. We were born on the same day. We were both born on 29th of September 1963. But Manos was 1 when they were born, and I was 0. So on my 30th birthday, me and Manos went out for a meal. He was 31 and I was 30. I said, but you can't be. Well, in Greece, you start a year later. You don't have a 0 birthday. We do. And every year we send each other cards. So now we do it on Facebook. And I speak to him nearly every day. But I used to walk into his bar. It was the last bar I'd go in every night. I'd walk in with a woman and I'd go, Manos, I love my job. And he'd go, you bastard. He hated it. He goes, I hate my job. I mean, he was a wealthy man. He owned olive groves, bars, apartments, BMW. He had a Harley Davidson that he used to drive. That was his pride and joy. He's got a vintage Beetle, red one, and he's still got it now. That was 30 years ago, and it was probably 30-year-old then. But I used to go, I love my job, and he'd go, I hate my job. I could not pay for a drink in his bar, no matter what I did. Sometimes I drank there every night, every single night, and I finished off there every single night. And I used to take girls in there, but I insisted that I paid for the drinks, and he let me. But it was difficult because I'm quite, what's the word? I'm an honourable man. I don't like taking piss, and I felt like I was, but he were okay with it. He didn't have a problem with it. And years later, I went back 7 years later, and I got a drink, and it was as if I'd never left. And he just put it on bar, I got money out, and he went, what? I said, from a drink. You don't pay this bar. I went, Manos, I've been gone for 7 years. I'm not a rep anymore. you still get free drink. 7 years after that, 14 a year after I'd been there, still drinking for free. Still. If I have a friend that's going over there and I said, tell them you know me, they drink for free. So I stopped doing it now. So I just feel like I'm taking piss. But and I have had a few that have gone over and they're going, I can't believe every time I went in, he won't let me pay. And he goes, John Barmer don't pay for his drinks. And I said, well, I'm not John Barmer. But you know him. You know, it's a good job I don't know a lot of people, isn't it? Getting down to the end of the story now. I've quite enjoyed doing it. It's all come out of here, and there's no lies in it. But I've got some really good stories, and one of them was about there's a lot of mafia in Crete, and the nasty people. And I had a bit of a run in with one of them, and I had to get out of this trouble with this mafia guy, and I did it in a unique kind of way that I don't think anybody's ever done, and nobody's done it since. They don't certainly done it before, and I made somebody get me out of this trouble, and the person that I made was a very, very, very important man in that town. And then he pulled a gun on me and said, "Do it again, I'll kill you." I said, "But I won't be doing it again." I had a few stars out there. I had Jess Birdsell, who you won't know who he is, but it was in El Dorado, Marcus Talbot, Marcus Tandy, and it just finished. And he was also married to Cassandra out of Only Fools and Houses. I had Ryan Giggs, and we had a little plan to embarrass him, take photos, but he asked me not to do it. So I said, okay, I won't do it. I had some other stars that I can't mention. There were a guy who was the outdoor producer for Big Breakfast, and he got Chris Evans to call me one morning and asked me if I'd go on the Big Breakfast, and they offered me a week as the man of the week or something. They were going to fly me out from Greece, put me in there for a week at Big Breakfast, but my boss said, go do it. And I said, I don't want to do it. And there were some monsters that I made up. There were a few little monsters. One of them was the Skibibi beetle that didn't exist, but I told everybody it did. There were lots of things that happened there. I loved it, and I'm not going to be able to go back there forever, like, but I can go for a holiday. I just can't be a rep because them days have gone. I'm 60-year-old now. I have written a book, and it started as this, but it ended as something else, which is Jobby Topper, which is available on Amazon. Some of the stories from here are in that book, but not as me, as Jobby Topper. And that's about it. I mean, what we're on now? No, we've got 2 more minutes for my hours up. I don't want to get less than an hour, because if I do, I'll have to do it all again. So I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to come back and do a part 2. I don't know when, but I will. So if you subscribe, I'll let you all know when it comes out. That's if you've enjoyed it and you want to hear it. But there's some good stories to tell, and I've probably got another 10 hours of this to go. I'd like you to follow, if you will, subscribe, follow. What do you do on TikTok? This is not TikTok, this is YouTube. What do you do on YouTube? You subscribe, you follow, you like, you share. So subscribe, follow, like, and share, if you will. The more people I get that do that, the better it is for my channel. I'm trying to get monetized, hence the long videos. But end of the day, it'll do what it'll do. I'm clock watching now because I've only got a minute to go. If anybody has anything they want to ask me, please put in the comments. If anybody remembers me from our holder up in Malia, it wasn't me. Especially if you've got a 30-year-old kid. That's not mine. It's not mine. Not to do with me. If you had a good time when you were there, my name's John. If you didn't like it, if you didn't like it, my name's Jason, and I worked for Inspirations. One moment. Alexa, stop. So my hour's up. I've done my time, and I'd like to thank you all for watching it. Please like, please follow, please share. Thank you very much. And tickety-boo. There we go. Let's have, I'm going to stop this. Stop recording. Bye-bye.